Hey there, folk. Welcome back. So, as I'm sure you are all well aware, we did have San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend, and there are so many dolls that we have to talk about from Monster High that were revealed at this event, which I am like so happily surprised by. I sort of just like wasn't thinking that much about Comic Con. I feel like last year the reveals weren't super crazy, and I was especially thinking of earlier this year, the Mattel Creations revealed event, where we literally got the main reveal and then one little teaser and nothing else. So it was so boring, right? So I just wasn't expecting it to be everything that it was. But as it turns out, we got not only a ton of different dolls that were revealed, but also a ton of different dolls that I think are genuinely really cool to see, even though they are not all my cup of tea. So we're going to be going through and taking a look at all of the reveals. I am using just whatever official pictures I have for each of these releases. So some of them I have more pictures, some of them I have fewer pictures. I might not talk in depth about every single thing. I don't know. We're just discussing my thoughts on the dolls that were revealed. So let's go ahead and jump into it because we don't have time to yap. There's a lot to get through. Righty, so to start off with, we have something that we knew was coming but that we hadn't seen pictures of before, and that is the Dawn of the Dance reproductions. So these are supposed to be coming out October 1st of this year for $32.99 US dollars. I don't have any information right now as far as where they're coming out. Like, presumably they'll be on Mattel Creations, right? Because that'd be crazy if they weren't on Mattel Creations. But as far as like if there's going to be Amazon, Walmart, like any other sort of releases, I'm not sure at the current moment. And this is the only lineup that we are getting. So I believe it's just Deuce and Ghoulia who were cut, and most people are upset about Ghoulia. Like, I know obviously seeing Deuce cut is also really like a bummer, but like a lot of people are upset about Ghoulia, and I do get it. I do think that Ghoulia was one of her better G1 dolls, so it does suck to see her not get one. But we are getting reproductions for Cleo, Frankie, Draculaura, Claudine, and Laguna. I personally, if you've been here before, you know, am the most excited for the Laguna. Like, the Dawn of the Dance Laguna has been a grail of mine for years, but I'm not willing to pay her secondhand prices. I will not do it. So this is finally a chance for me to add this doll to my collection, and I am so beyond stoked that this is happening. Like, I'm so excited for these. We do have a little bit more of a close-up picture for Laguna, Frankie, and Claudine, because I am trying to use just, again, like official images, not any like in-person images or anything like that. So to go ahead and discuss the Draculaura and the Cleo from, you know, just what we can see here, because I don't have closer up pictures of those. I actually really kind of like the Cleo. I've never thought of myself as a particular fan of Dawn of the Dance Cleo. Like, I just haven't really thought about her that much, I think. But this particular face that the reproduction has looks so good. And I believe that all of the dolls we got reveals for at the Comic-Con were supposed to be like final like mass release. So this should in theory be what she looks like, and that face is selling it for me. Like, I'm actually much more excited for her than I expected. Draculaura, this is just a doll that like I've never been a fan of her. I don't think she's ugly. She's just not a doll that I need to have in my collection. But that being said, I think she was originally part of like a 3-pack or something like that in the initial launch of Dawn of the Dance. So between that and her being Draculaura, who is like a lot of people's favorites, she's also really expensive on the secondhand market. Like, all of these can be, I feel like, kind of expensive from what I'm aware of, but like she's extra rough. So not a doll that I need to grab, but I am excited for people who are like, you know, have been wanting the doll, and now this is an opportunity for them, kind of like it is for me with Laguna, to go ahead and look at Frankie a little bit more in depth. Again, just like not a doll that I have ever personally wanted, but I feel like this looks like a pretty decent reproduction for the Dawn of the Dance, just based off of old photos versus new photos. And it is really exciting to see that we are getting colored stands with these dolls. Like, a lot of the initial Monster High releases back in G1, they got colorful stands for the different launches, and it was just something a little extra, you know, just a little special display that sort of matches the color scheme of the doll. And it's really fun to see that they're bringing that back for the Dawn of the Dance repros. So it looks like they come with like an invitation and then a couple photo cards, and then of course the accessories and all that jazz. The Claudine, I do already have Dawn of the Dance Claudine, so I will probably be skipping out on her just because, like, not that I like judge people who want to get reproductions as well as the originals, but I'm kind of like, oh, I already have a version of this doll, like I'm fine with that, but gorgeous doll. And if I didn't already have her, like if I hadn't already been lucky enough to find her, I would have wanted her. Like I would be going for her as well. I think again the face, like she looks really solid in my opinion. But of course, like I said, the Laguna is the one that I'm the most excited about, and she's so gorgeous. Like I've loved this doll for so long. Like she's just so pretty to me. The hair is so silly, goofy, and fun. And again, I think that the face looks really good on this reproduction. Like sometimes, the faces look a little bit different and people have like thoughts on them. I feel like this one looks really cute. I'm really here for it. Like that shell purse, I'm so hyped for that purse in particular. I don't know why. I'm just absolutely thrilled to actually get to see these. Like I said, we've known that they were coming, but it just feels more real now that we can see the pictures and now that we have a release date, and I cannot wait. Next up, we have a new collector Draculaura doll. She is Halloween themed. I don't think she is technically being marketed as a holiday doll, but like this is sort of just another holiday doll, right? Which is kind of funny because Draculaura has had then 3 holiday dolls if you count this one. That's just semantics though and doesn't actually matter. This doll is going to be $65 and releasing on October 14th of 2026. There is like a listing already up and like waiting on Mattel Creations. Again, though, no information. There's no information from me on any of these as far as if any of them will be a wider release. So it's possible, but like it's not known at this point. But to go ahead and look at this Draculaura, I will say I like her. I liked her a lot more when I first saw her, and I'll tell you why after we sort of go through her design. But I do have to just highlight this silhouette is absolutely phenomenal. Like I just love how dramatic and how extreme it is. Like no holds barred. This is just something so fun and so different, which is crazy to me because they make so many Draculaura dolls. And the fact that there's still something about this doll, actually a lot of some things about this doll that to me doesn't read like something we've ever seen before is kind of high key wild. To go ahead and look a little bit closer up at the like bodice of her outfit here and like just seeing the fabrics of the skirt, I really like the sort of shimmery, it looks like a brocade that is the majority of her skirt, like that big dramatic overpiece. So pretty, but I also love the fact that it's lined with lace. Like you're just getting a lot of different fabrics that I think is really nice to get to see. I'm obsessed with this little pumpkin pail. That's so cute. Like it genuinely hurts my heart. I think that is so adorable. And she also has a pumpkin. It looks like kind of printed on this plastic like neck piece situation that she has got going on. She does have white hands to simulate gloves and then little like black bow bracelets to be the cuffs of the gloves. Like this is really, it's quite fun to me. I think this is really nice. The shoes also are super cool because while they are a plastic shoe, we have actual ribbon that has been laced up along like the sculpt of the shoe and tied up like a real boot would be. That is so sick to me. Like that in and of itself is a super fun detail and something that is very, very uncommon with Monster High and Mattel in general, right? Like it's very rarely that they incorporate any sort of fabric into a shoe. Again, obviously these aren't full fabric shoes, but it's just really fun to see a fabric element to them. And then the back of the shoe is like a little haunted house for her heel. And I do think that's really cute. There's some screen printing on there that is very, very minute. Like this is tiny, but it looks honestly pretty good. And I think this does work for me as an object heel. Like it's not super wild, like in terms of the shape being super far away from a heel. They match. The shoes are crazy, crazy good to me. And then to take a look at her face, of course, we have to look at the face. So she does have really intricate, almost like filigree style makeup. She also has a wild headpiece, and I'm a little bit distracted from talking about the makeup because of the headpiece. But suffice to say, there's a lot of detail in the makeup, and it's also very dark. She's got really intense, like dark eyes, and then also this deep dark lip. Super pretty. But like the headpiece, are we joking? It's like these bat wings that sort of accent her pigtails, I would say. There's a veil piece that comes down over her face. There's mesh in between the panels of the bat wings. Like, this is just so funky and so different. Again, just something very unusual compared to other Draculauras that we've seen. And overall, I think she's really fun. The reason I said I liked her more before is just because this promo picture was the first picture that I saw for her. And I think that this just like the lighting is really doing her a lot of favors, but more than anything, it's the presence of more of these pink pumpkins. I wish we had more of the pumpkins because that's just like one of my favorite parts of this. I know that's so silly to be looking at this whole design and being like, oh my God, the little tiny pumpkin pail is my favorite part, but it is. I don't know what I just think that's so cute. And so I think I'm just a little sad that there isn't even more pumpkin pieces, but even saying that, like looking at her and looking at all of these details, I think this is so cool. And for $65, like, I feel like this is more than they would usually give us for $65. We do have a picture of her box. We didn't have pictures of the Dawn of the Dance boxes, at least as of time of me putting this video together. She's got a box. I feel like it's so dark, and it's not dark in the way that like that mood lighting situation with the promo pics was. Like, it's just dark in a way that sort of makes it hard to see the doll. The box isn't my favorite, but the doll herself, she's just really fun. I think she's fun. She's a little silly, a little bit whimsical, and I kind of vibe with that one. On to the next doll. Now we are taking a look at another Nightmare Before Christmas Skullector, this time an Oogie Boogie Skullector. So this doll is supposed to come out October 30th for $70 US. However, this one we do have extra information that there is supposed to be a Fang vote, like, purchasing period on October 29th. So I don't know if there is also going to be that for any of the other releases that we've talked about, but there is supposed to be one for Oogie Boogie at least. So looking at this doll, I will confess, my immediate first reaction was like, oh no. And I'm still not a fan, but I do think that a lot of that is just because I, in general, am really not a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas anymore the way that I was when I was younger. And also, even when I was a fan, I just really did not like Oogie Boogie. Like, I did find this character to be quite creepy. So I think that that was a lot of why I had the initial reaction. In general, this is still a doll that is not my thing. Like, I'm not going to go for this doll. There's no world where I would want to own her. But even though I don't like her, I still think the design is really interesting. And I'm happy to be able to say, I don't like this doll for my own personal reasons, instead of saying, I don't like this doll because she looks cheap or poorly designed or whatever the case might be. Like, I'm more than happy to just have a doll be not for me. I just appreciate that this is at least quite interesting. So we do have, it looks like a little bit of a curvier body type. A lot of people are theorizing that it's going to be the body that was used on some of the Sanderson sisters Skullectors. And then this big flowing, like, sort of ball gown almost moment. All of the fabric is printed on one side to look like it is like a sort of burlap, because the Oogie Boogie is made of burlap. And then the underside, like the inside, is lined with these like just neon little insects. And so all of this is referencing sort of the scene when they're in his lair and everything is under ultraviolet light. And, Oogie Boogie is made of all these insects. So I think that is so fun. And the fact that we have more insects that are like these plastic pieces on the tip of the hat, as well as crisscrossing all over the body with like this plastic stitch detail, that is so sick. Like, I genuinely do think it's a really interesting design and a really cool way to create Oogie Boogie. I'm just not into Oogie Boogie, you know what I'm saying? I will say, looking at the shoes, I get it. Like, they kind of look like Oogie's feet. I understand where we're going for. I just don't really think that they look that great to me personally. They're probably my least favorite thing about the doll. However, the face, I think, is really, really cool. Like, these eyes are just so striking with these hypnotic purple patterns in the iris. Like, that's just so much this smile. The way that it's painted to look extra wide is great. it is sort of funny to be like wearing the Oogie Boogie hat also. And I don't know, I feel like the hat can look a little bit iffy for me, but overall, like it's fun, it's silly, like it's something interesting again. Like I just appreciate that this is something, right? Like I'm not just looking at it like with the Universal Monsters that I recently made a video on. I literally was just sitting there going, yeah, they exist. They're here. Like at least this is fun, right? Like at least this is a strange and interesting design. I also do want to highlight I love the bag being the bathtub, and then there's sort of like a bag charm of the three little kids that like are sort of Oogie Boogie's minions. That is top tier bag choice. So definitely not for me, but I do think that it's like interesting. To go ahead and look at the box just super quick, there's this shot of like without the sleeve on it. It's fine. It's a box. I don't like the front cover of the box though. I don't know if that's just me. I think we're so zoomed in that personally, if it didn't have the Nightmare Before Christmas logo, I would not be like, "Oh, that's Oogie Boogie." I don't know. So that's kind of my last little critiques. So not for me, but fun for someone else overall. Very similar feelings for this Michael Myers Skullector doll from Halloween 2. This one is actually coming out quite soon, going to be on August 7th, and this one is priced at 70 US dollars. This is just one, I've said it 1,000 times on this channel, y'all already know this. I'm really not like a movie person in general, and especially I actually don't handle horror well, which is going to be like sort of funny with something that's coming up. But yeah, so I've never seen Halloween or Halloween 2 or like anything from the franchise, but I've still seen images of Mike Myers, right? Like he's such an iconic horror character that even someone who is so removed from horror and like being a horror fan still knows like what that character looks like. And I think this is an excellent rendition for a Monster High doll. Like this is another one, again, I'm just looking at it and it's like this isn't for me, but I think this is super super fun. Like just the overall vibe that we're getting, the knife that we have, this feels very much like all of the images that I've ever seen about Mike Myers. I do want to highlight the face. I think this is very, very well done. Judging from the color of her ears, it looks like this is not actually a mask, not something sort of like when we had the Megan doll where there was the actual face and then like there was also the robot face and you could, remove part of it to show the other option. I think that this is just that the doll has a white head, so it's a little bit more seamless. I don't really know if like people have opinions on that. I'm just kind of talking. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I think it's really interesting how they managed to do the screening and like painted the eyes and everything to make it look like this is a 3D piece. Like it is definitely giving that illusion of depth, the illusion that the eyes are sort of behind the rest of the face, like it's a mask. And I think that is so, so well done. Like props to the designers who are working on all of it, but like that part in particular, I'm so impressed by. I also adore the glitter blood tears. Like that's just, I think it brings a little bit of the fun in there, like a little bit of the like monster high of it all, as opposed to just being another Michael Myers thing. I just think that that's really, really cool. These shoes, I also think are insane on this stall. I have heard a lot of people say that they only like them because of the gimmick factor and that like on the shoes, they're sort of ugly. Obviously, it's fine if you feel that way. Personally, though, I actually kind of think that these work for me for an object heel. Like they're not perfect, obviously, the way that it's a VHS tape and then the like cover for it, they aren't perfectly aligned to look precisely like heels. Like they are a little clunky and a little bit awkward, but I just think there's something so charming about the object choice. And I think that they're not so clunky that they piss me off. I don't know. I actually kind of like them on the shoe, but the best part about them is the fact that you can take them off and then they can just be a handheld accessory for the doll or for like a display. Like if you have a doll diorama or something and you want to use this, that is unreal to me. Like that is just such a level of innovation. That is such a fun thing to be doing. I am baffled, fully baffled by this, like in the best way possible. I just think it is so cool, so just once again, I guess I should show the box really quick. It's, I don't know, it's a box. But yeah, once again, it's just something that this isn't ever a doll I would purchase. But I'm so glad that that's just a me problem, right? Like, I genuinely think that if I was a fan of Halloween, I would be losing my shit over this doll. And I love that that's the reality that we're apparently in now with San Diego Comic Con. And lastly, we are going to talk about the doll that unfortunately has the fewest promo pictures currently available, and who is a lot of people's favorite, and who is also my favorite, and that is the Krampus Skullector. So this is supposed to come out December 4th of this year. Once again, this one is confirmed to supposed to be having a Fang Club, like, buy period on December 3rd of this year. They better make 10,000 of this doll because, like I said, so many people love this, and I am, in fact, one of them. This is incredible. And the funny thing about this is I literally just said I don't watch horror. I haven't seen, like, a lot of horror movies. Like, I haven't seen iconic horror films like Halloween. However, I have seen Krampus. Krampus? I'm going to say Krampus. I have seen that. I don't know why, and I don't really, like, remember a lot of the specifics, but I know for sure that I've seen the film. And the crazy part is that despite it being a horror film, and despite me being like such like a sensitive person when it comes to horror, I don't remember being bothered by it. I need someone to explain to me how my brain works, but I just think that that's like a little bit of a funny thing. So for once, not literally the first time, but like for a rare occasion, I can say that at some point I saw the source material for this. What a doll, right? Like, oh my God, I really think that this is a exercise in simplicity done correctly when it comes to the outfit. I know it's really hard to see here. I'm sorry. I'm sure that you've seen other people posting videos with the real life pictures where you can see a little bit more. Like I said, I don't do that here. So sorry. But the doll just has like, you know, just velvet for this like cloak situation, except for obviously the hood is fur lined. There's just a little red mini dress underneath this. The boots are, it looks like unpainted. They're just like a black boot. They do have like cloven hoof sculpting to them, and they might have something fun for the heel. We haven't seen. But like a lot of this is relatively simple, but it's done correctly. Like, this doesn't look like simple because no one cared enough to try. This looks like simple because we didn't want to ruin the design by pasting the gingerbread that she's holding all over her coat, which, like, there's an alternate timeline out there where that's what we're getting instead because they love to do that shit. So I just love that they didn't mess with this too much. Like, they just let it be this really cool thing. Also, very, very big fan of the base doll. Like, that is the number one thing for me. The face is incredible. These, like, unbelievably dramatic eyes. Just so many layers of reds and blacks in the makeup to just really make them stand out, especially compared to the, like, white eyebrows that are painted on there. We do have, like, long, flowing white hair. But of course, the tongue is the exciting part. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. She looks incredible. The horns are also super duper cool, but it's that face. It's that face that has got me, and I will absolutely be trying for this doll. I think she's unreal. That's it. That's really all I have to say. I just think she's so incredible. And in general, even though not every single doll that I talked about today was a doll that I personally want, these are, in my mind, very impressive showings, especially considering some of the other dolls that we have gotten lately in the Skullector lineup, and just like as Monster High collector dolls in general, have honestly been a little bit of a snooze fest compared to these. And also, there are so many dolls that we've gotten that have been just as expensive but have looked half as good. And so it's so exciting to me to see dolls that look like they are, I'm not going to say worth the price they're charging, because I almost never believe that to be true, but closer to being worth the price that they're charging, and dolls that look unique and interesting. Like, I don't know what is going on. I don't know what someone spiked the water with at Mattel Designer HQ, but keep spiking it, because this is just such a showing for Monster High that I honestly was like getting to the point where I was like, we might never see shit like this again. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but just it just felt like things were on such a decline that it was something more where we would get a release and it just feels disappointing most of the time. Again, to me, I can only speak for myself. So to then have this huge like set of announcements, and all of them, even if they're not dolls I want, all of them, there's something positive I can say about them. And I think that all of them show character and show like love from the people who were working on these designs. I'm just absolutely blown away. So this was a fun one. We got to do like a purely positive video pretty much for once, which is not common on the channel anymore. Like this was just super fun to get to look at all of these. I'm very much eagerly awaiting several of these releases, and fingers crossed that they aren't too terribly difficult to get. But that's going to conclude my thoughts for today. Sound out in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking of these dolls and which is your favorite. But that's going to be it for me for today, y'all. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night, whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.